What happens when an HOA crosses the line and attacks a former military officer over her trained K9s? Watch as one woman fights back with more than just her legal knowledge. Her dogs have been through battles before, and they're about to show the HOA exactly who's in control. Welcome, everyone. Before we dive into this epic story, I want to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below, and let's see how far this story travels. Now, grab some popcorn, because this one's going to get intense. The story begins with the young couple, Sarah and Jack, moving into a beautiful suburban neighborhood. They've just bought their first home, a cozy two-story house surrounded by well-maintained lawns and quiet streets. Jack, who works as a software developer, and Sarah, a former military officer, are both excited about their new chapter. Sarah had served in the military for over a decade, where she worked closely with K9 units, training and working with highly skilled dogs in military operations. Now, retired and living a civilian life, Sarah is determined to bring that same discipline and care to her new home. As they unpack, everything seems perfect, and the couple is eager to meet their neighbors and start settling in. However, their excitement is short-lived when they meet the HOA president, Karen. Karen is a dominant figure in the neighborhood, always making sure everyone follows her strict vision of what the community should look like. Sarah, not used to someone trying to control her life, is taken aback by Karen's approach. Still, she remains calm and respectful, unsure of the tension that's about to unfold. Sarah and Jack soon realize that Karen has made it her mission to ensure every detail in the neighborhood adheres to her idea of perfection. A few days into their move, Sarah receives a letter from the HOA warning her about minor violations. The letter mentions that their front lawn is slightly too wild, and their garage door is painted in a shade of grey that doesn't match the approved neighborhood palette. At first, Sarah dismisses the complaints as trivial, but as they start mounting, she realizes that Karen is watching their every move. When Sarah politely attempts to explain that they were simply settling in, Karen scoffs, making it clear that the HOA's authority is not to be challenged. The tension escalates when Sarah's K9s, highly trained military dogs, are brought up. The HOA president is visibly uncomfortable with the dogs' presence, as they're trained to be protective. Sarah explains that the dogs have been part of her life for years, and they are well behaved. But Karen won't hear any of it. She demands that the dogs be kept out of sight and threatens to report them for being a danger to the neighborhood. Her harsh tone catches Sarah off guard, but she maintains her composure, hoping Karen will back down. Despite Sarah's efforts to maintain peace, Karen continues to escalate the situation. She begins making unreasonably harsh demands, such as insisting that the dogs be put through behavior evaluations and that their training equipment, such as K9 posts and agility obstacles, be removed. Sarah tries to explain that the K9s are highly trained and that the equipment is necessary for their exercise, but Karen refuses to listen. She even starts spreading rumors to the neighbors about the dogs being aggressive and dangerous, using her influence to turn the neighborhood against Sarah and Jack. Sarah feels the mounting pressure but refuses to give in. It becomes clear that Karen isn't just enforcing rules. She has a personal vendetta against Sarah, perhaps due to her military background or her willingness to stand up for what's right. The situation grows more unbearable, and the couple starts to feel alienated. At one point, Karen confronts Sarah outside her home, yelling that the neighborhood doesn't need military dogs. Sarah, now visibly frustrated, remains calm and walks away. But it's clear this will not be the end of it. Things reach a breaking point when Karen escalates the situation by calling animal control, falsely accusing Sarah's K9s of being aggressive. Animal control arrives unannounced, and Sarah's dogs, always well trained and disciplined, remain calm and submissive to their commands. The animal control officers, impressed by the dog's behavior and training, quickly dismiss Karen's accusations. This embarrassing situation doesn't deter Karen though. She doubles down, using her influence to threaten further fines and legal action. The stress begins to take its toll on Sarah, who is feeling increasingly isolated and bullied by Karen's relentless attacks. At the same time, Jack watches his wife struggle, growing more upset with each passing day. Sarah, ever the tactician, remains focused, but the tension is reaching its peak. The couple realizes they cannot continue to live under constant surveillance and threats. Sarah knows that her military training, both mentally and physically, can help them fight back, but this will require a plan. Sarah, using her military mindset, begins researching HOA rules and regulations in detail. She speaks with a local attorney who specializes in property law, learning that the HOA has overstepped their authority by repeatedly harassing the family and attempting to remove the K9s without just cause. As they dig deeper, Sarah discovers a legal loophole in the HOA's own bylaws that grants her the ability to block Karen's driveway permanently. It's a bold move, but Sarah knows it's the only way to protect her family and her dogs from further harassment with the legal strategy in place. Sarah begins working with her lawyer to file a formal complaint against Karen and the HOA. This legal move will not only allow them to block Karen's driveway, but also send a message that they are no longer going to be pushed around. It's a risky decision, but Sarah is determined to follow through, knowing that this situation can no longer be resolved through passive means. The legal battle intensifies when Karen, furious at Sarah for fighting back, takes the family to court, demanding that the dogs be removed from the property entirely. The court case becomes a spectacle, with the entire neighborhood watching. Sarah, confident in her legal position and the K9s' impeccable behavior, brings her military-trained dogs to court as part of the evidence. The dogs sit obediently, performing simple commands to show their discipline and obedience. The judge is visibly impressed by their composure. In contrast, Karen's case begins to fall apart as she has no real evidence to support her claims. She relies on vague rumors and hearsay, but it's clear that Sarah's well-documented military service and the K9s training are indisputable. The atmosphere in the courtroom shifts as Sarah's professionalism and calm demeanor shine through. Her attorney counters every claim with cold, hard facts, and the case swings in Sarah's favor. The judge delivers a final ruling in favor of Sarah and her family. Karen's demands are rejected, and the HOA is ordered to cease their harassment. As part of the judgment, the HOA is required to apologize to Sarah and Jack, and they must also provide a written statement acknowledging the dogs' value and the family's rights to keep them. Karen, humiliated and defeated, is forced to step down from her position as HOA president, and the couple can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The neighborhood, now free from Karen's oppressive rule, begins to embrace Sarah and her family. Neighbors who had once sided with Karen start offering their support, and the couple finally feels at home. Sarah's K9s, ever the loyal companions, become a beloved presence in the community, and the family enjoys their peaceful, hard-earned victory. The story ends with Sarah looking out at her backyard, the dogs playing joyfully, knowing that they've not only fought for their home, but also for the peace and respect they deserved.